I'd increase. Yeah, I mean, you want to just go as long as you possibly can, like however long that looks like. I mean, I've had patients stay on their starter dose for the entire program. So you might be wondering how that's possible. How is that possible to stay on the starter dose for the entire time? And the reason why that's possible is because we implement strategy. We implement strategic lifestyle interventions that get to the root cause. Getting to the root cause of your obesity, getting to the root cause of your weight loss struggles, that's why we're able to do this. See, a lot of you don't understand the connection between insulin resistance, inflammation, and your weight loss struggles. If somebody stops a GLP-1, does the weight usually come back? Yes, it does. And it comes back with a vengeance. But check this out. Anytime you lose weight, even without a medication, guess what? The weight comes back. Nobody likes to talk about this, but the research is very clear. Permanent weight loss, it almost doesn't exist. Over 85% of people who have ever lost weight long term never keep it off long term. The majority. There are outliers. There are people who can maintain weight. There are people that can maintain weight, but it's very challenging. It's very difficult for the majority of people to maintain weight loss. The body's kind of doomed, you know. Hey, Kevin, what's up, buddy? I remember you. We can talk about stalls. We can talk about weight loss plateaus and how to fix that. There's many different programs and many different prices, by the way. If you guys are curious about programs, if you're curious about prices, shoot us a text message right here. I realized that on my YouTube live, I realized that I cannot mirror. Sorry, guys. So if you're watching me on YouTube live, you're gonna have to read backwards, or somebody can post the number. You have to maintain lifestyle changes. You absolutely need to maintain lifestyle changes. Even if you do, many of you still won't maintain weight loss. So what I have found to be the secret, what I have found to be the thing that actually works long term, is not only being consistent, but actually fixing your insulin resistance when you are losing your weight. Hey, Kevin, fantastic. You're working with Heather. What service are you doing with my clinic? Does that make sense, guys? So during the weight loss journey, you have to become insulin sensitive. Super, super important. You have to become insulin sensitive. So the more insulin sensitive you are, the easier time that your body has at maintaining weight. Guess what? We still have delicious food around us. We still have hyper palatable, delicious, readily available. We're getting blasted with marketing 24/7. You go, it's tough out there. I mean, it's crazy what we have to deal with. We shouldn't have to deal with all this marketing, you know? I mean, don't get me started on it's the same thing with pharmaceuticals. We shouldn't be blasted with pharmaceutical drug commercials all the time too, but we are. So we do have a thyroid management program. We help people manage their thyroid. And this goes back to what we were saying earlier. The four main reasons why your GLP-1 results are slow. If you guys want to know the 4 main reasons, let's see, there we go. The 4 main reasons are inflammation, insulin resistance, thyroid, and cortisol. Those are the 4 main reasons why you're getting slow results. Best peptide for bulking, I would probably say tesamorelin on top of testosterone therapy. And you got to eat, you got to lift, and you got to eat. Eat to nourish for the remainder of this time on earth. Yes, I love that. Eat to nourish your body. Indulge every now and then if you want to indulge, like, you know, I'm okay if you want to live a little bit of life, but, you know, you don't want to live to eat, you know, but that's a whole nother mindset piece to it. How do GLP-1s compare with traditional diabetes medications? Oh, significantly better. I mean, GLP-1s, quite frankly, are, you know, probably one of the better diabetic medications. You know, that is not our expertise. We're not managing diabetes patients. So, but I feel pretty confident in saying that from all the literature that I've read and just watching our patients, coaching them. Can you take tirzepatide 1 day early? I mean, you're probably going to be fine if you do that. I think carbohydrates are addicting. Processed foods, ultra processed foods, they're addicting. So you're not crazy. You know, you're not crazy at all. This is a real thing. Unfortunately, we have no way of getting insurance companies to work with us. This has been, it's just a very known thing that insurance companies, they don't cover these kind of services. Yes, Chrissy, if you guys are from the UK, if you're overseas, you can still join our coaching program. We just have no way of shipping the medications to you, that's all. Yeah, we work with high quality 503A compounding pharmacies. We have a couple different ones that we work with, and they'll ship the medications, the peptides, directly to your doorstep. And then I have a team of coaches beneath me, and it's divide and conquer, you know? It's divide and conquer. Will an endoscopy reveal inflammation in the gut? No. It will reveal observable issues, growths, you know. Again, I mean, I don't do endoscopies every day, but I'm very confident in saying that a lot of inflammatory issues you're not going to see. You have to test it. You have to test those things out. You might, I mean, if it's really bad, I think you could see it, you know, but I think in most cases, you're not going to be able to see it. ACL reconstruction, plays rugby. I've started Monjaro. Can you please help me with, yes, actually, Akalish, you definitely are going to want some healing peptides. You're going to want some healing peptides. The ones specifically that I'm thinking of for you are going to be BPC 157 and TB 500. BPC 157 and TB 500. This is what we call the Wolverine healing cycle. If you guys are dealing with injuries, musculotendinous injuries, then you're definitely going to want BPC 157 and TB 500. Those are powerful. What GLP-1 do I take? I do tirzepatide. That's what I do, is tirzepatide. How do you become insulin sensitive? So, great freaking question. First of all, let me be clear that becoming insulin sensitive is the same thing as fixing your insulin resistance. So people get confused with these terms because they're understandably confusing, right? you're becoming insulin sensitive, you're becoming less insulin resistant. If you're becoming more insulin resistant, you're becoming less insulin sensitive. That's super important to understand. So our entire program, our entire protocol, the basis of what I do with patients when I coach them is help them become insulin sensitive, getting rid of their insulin resistance through lifestyle interventions that get to the root cause. You know, I think that there's a lot of confusion about post GLP-1 meds and what does that look like. So we do two things with our patients. Becky, let me get to your guys' questions on YouTube and just bear with me here. So we do two things with patients. We help them get off the meds if that's their goal, and they're able to do that. Not everybody's going to be able to do it. Just because you want to do it does not mean you're going to be able to do it. So we help patients in that manner. But then we also help patients, and this I think right now this one makes more sense. So being able to decrease your medication dose to a microdose. So being able to achieve microdosing as a maintenance protocol. That to me is the most, I think that's the best goal to have. Hello, you're on Instagram, Ying. And if you guys want to talk about that, we can. Let me do this. If you guys are watching me on TikTok, just on TikTok, do me a big favor. I'm going to exit my TikTok, and then I'm going to re-enter real quick. Instagram and YouTube, you guys are cool. I'm going to answer your guys' questions right now. But TikTok, I'm just going to exit. So I should pop back up, but if you don't see me pop back up, just scroll or go to my page, Dr. Jones, and you'll see me. I'm gonna re-enter this live right away just to kind of fix this issue I'm having. So I'll see you guys on TikTok here in a second. And then we can get into some questions over here. All right, so hey, B713, are you still there? I'm physically located in Denver, but I have clinics that service across the nation. So I'm located in Denver, but we service all 50 states. And so regardless of wherever you're at, we have our medical practitioners and we have our coaches so we can help you. All right, Becky, if I'm not getting the results on Ozempic, should I switch to another GLP-1 med? I would always opt for tirzepatide if possible. So tirzepatide and semaglutide. Tirzepatide and semaglutide are the two main GLP-1s, but I would always opt for tirzepatide. Now, the pharmaceutical brand names, so let me just be clear. Semaglutide is Wegovy Ozempic, and then tirzepatide is Mounjaro and Zepbound. These ones right here on my right side, these are way better. You're going to want to get on Mounjaro, Zepbound, tirzepatide if you can. Welcome back, everybody, on TikTok. Instagram, I've been on Ozempic for ages, but still haven't lost any weight. In fact, I gained. Please help. So this is actually, I'm glad you mentioned that. This is actually what I want to talk about. So what I want to talk about today, guys, with you, and welcome if this is your first time here in the channel. My name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics that service across the nation, all 50 states. The way it works with me and my doctors in my clinic is they prescribe and I coach. So it's a really cool kind of divide and conquer. And so we essentially achieve lasting weight loss through microdosing GLP-1s and powerful peptides. So Anthony Bevan, you're going to like what I'm talking about because 100% you couldn't be more right. GLP-1s are just a tool. They're a tool and they should be a catalyst. They should be a catalyst for proper lifestyle interventions. We do service New Jersey. Ania, we service New Jersey, and we have so many patients that come to us who already have the medications. If you already have the medications, then you're a prime candidate for coaching, and you're a prime candidate for fat mobilizing peptides, especially the new one, by the way. If you guys haven't heard about the new peptide that's blowing up right now, it's called Sloop 332. We happen to have a promotion right now. I think it's ending, I don't know, because we launched it last week. But it's Sloop 332. And essentially, there's a lot of cool things that you can do with fat mobilizing peptides. So I want to get into all of that, but why don't we start with a little introduction? Do me a big favor, drop your name. Let me know your name. Where are you watching from? Let's just kind of get started there. And what is your journey like? Like, what are you doing right now? Are you stalled? And then after we do that, then we can start talking about some of the topics I want to get into today are either weight loss stall, like how do I fix that, or how do I fix slow results, because they're not exactly the same. So that while you guys are doing that, this number on my shirt, which I know is hard for you guys to see on Instagram and YouTube, this number on my shirt is actually the best way to reach out to my team. So all you need to do is shoot us a text message right here. We got Annie from New Jersey, or Jersey Shore. The Jersey Shore, by the way, funny story. I used to think that show was so stupid until my friends told me to just seriously watch it. And then I realized it made me laugh because how stupid it was. So anyways, anytime I hear about Jersey Shore, I think of the TV show way back in the day. I'm not the only one that liked Jersey Shore, right? Come on. It was a little senseless, stupid humor that I needed. Hopefully I didn't embarrass myself with that statement. But anyways, we got Helen from South Africa. We got the comeback queen, tirzepatide and Retta. Why is it bad? A lot of people are doing this. I never said tirzepatide and Retta are bad. Retatrutide alone, I think a lot of people are not going to be happy with those results. And so I think tirzepatide should be your base. Tirzepatide should absolutely be your base. And you can supercharge the tirzepatide with other powerful peptides. Adding retatrutide to me isn't really that necessary. Eric, thanks for giving us all the information. You're welcome, my friend. Safe to take testosterone and tirzepatide. Absolutely. I take tirzepatide and I take testosterone therapy, guys. Scott, Florida, 5'11", 184 pounds, 41 down, currently in a stall. Okay. So we're gonna help you with that today, Scott. Your take on the golden dose. I mean, what does that even mean, right? Golden dose is sort of an expression. I think there's a sweet dose, there's a sweet spot dose, there's an ideal dose, there's an optimal dose, right? And to me, the best dose, the sweet spot dose, the golden dose, if you will, is the lowest dose that gets the job done. So I want to talk about that. I thought it fried your receptors. No, tirzepatide, retatrutide inherently doesn't fry your receptors. What fry your receptors is probably a pretty aggressive way to say. I know what you're saying. Desensitization of the receptor sites, decreased responsiveness. That'll happen with anything that you blast your body with in high doses. Doesn't matter which one we're talking about. So a high dose of anything over time is going to be met with a decreased responsiveness. This is how beautiful the human body is. The human body, wow, we have 140 people watching us on YouTube Live right now, guys. I hope I have a moderator in on the YouTube people because they are asking a ton of questions. Guys, I know you can't see my shirt. It's backwards on YouTube. I'm sorry, I can't fix that. But my moderator is going to hop in and give you guys the best number to reach out to my team so that you guys can take advantage of the specials right now and get set up for a free consultation. We got the comeback queen from New York. That's fantastic. Can we take BPC and TB if knee is swollen? Absolutely, you can. And we prescribe high quality BPC. We prescribe high quality TB 500. The BPC TB stack, this is what I call Wolverine. If you guys want to heal like Wolverine, you need the BPC TB 500. That is a really powerful stack. So let me talk to you guys about the strategy that we encourage, the dosing strategy. You talk about golden doses. When should you really increase your dose? Let me know in the comments. This is big. If you're on your medications right now, I know a lot of you guys are thinking about this. So this is what I want to talk about first. Let's talk about dosing. What is the best dose for success? I think nobody talks about this, and this is where people get stuck, because the dosing can either help you or screw you up. So my question for you guys is, when do you think you should increase your dose? If you're taking GLP-1s, Jen's Rock lost 56 pounds, that is fantastic. Yes, Claudia, this number right here is actually the best number to reach out to my team. It's conveniently on my shirt, 229-441-3562. Yes, we can help you, Deborah. We help patients every single day reverse their diabetes, battle their obesity, and we have a promotion right now that we're doing on Sloop. So let me know in the comments, when do you guys think you should increase your dose? Because no one talks about this, and I'm going to be honest, most doctors are confused. Most doctors are confused about when to increase their dose. It's wild. It really is. And if you're not sure, it's totally okay, because we're going to talk about that. When you get more hungry, I like that answer. That's a good answer. But we're going to dive deeper than just more hungry. When you stop losing, that's another common answer. There's nuance with that. Hey, Tracy, you should get an automatic text message back from us. Guys, if you shoot us a text message, you should get an automatic response back from us within a minute. If you don't, my moderators are live right now and they can check. When suppressing reduces, food noise returns, and weight loss stalls. Okay, that's a good one. Okay, so I feel like this is a very tough question. So let me dive into this real quick before I dive into this. Last thing I want to say, this number right here, if you guys haven't already, this is the best number to reach out to my team. And by the way, guys, you need to follow me on YouTube. I almost forgot. Thank you for reminding me. So I put out 3 YouTube videos every single week. So if you feel like this information is very valuable and you want to keep learning, obviously catching me on YouTube Lives is great, but I just dropped Costco video, the top 10 Ozempic friendly deals to buy right now. I just dropped that yesterday, so you're definitely going to want to check that out if you guys have seen my Costco videos. But we put out GLP-1 videos, we put out peptide videos. And so definitely check us out on YouTube. But I already said we're going to talk about dosing first. I know there's a lot of questions coming in on YouTube, guys. Let me talk about this topic first. So give me like 5 minutes, and then we're going to rapid fire. We're going to rapid fire your questions, because I want to get your guys' questions. But if you want to find me on YouTube, just type in Dr. Jones DC, and I will pop right up. Okay, so we had some good answers. We had some good answers come in when we talked about when to increase your dose. Here's the logical answers, right? Well, when I get more hungry, when my weight loss stalls. And those aren't necessarily wrong. But what you have to understand is there's a lot of nuance to that statement. So let's start with when you get more hungry. Okay, so is the goal of the medications to have no hunger? Because by definition, when people hear, when I start getting more hungry, then that means the goal is to have no hunger or to have very little hunger. So when it comes to hunger specifically, so out of all the other things the medication does, by the way, YouTube guys, the number is 229-441-3562. In case you're watching me on YouTube and you can't read backwards. Although, come on, guys, reading backwards shouldn't be that hard. No, I'm totally just kidding. 229-441-3562 is the best way to reach out to my team. Okay, so there is something important here about hunger specifically. So let me give you guys a little spectrum. On this side right here, you have pathologic. Pathologic means it's a problem. Disease is an aggressive way to say, but it's impacting your health. You have pathologic, I can't control food chatter. I'm eating junk food most of the time. I'm preoccupied with food. Food chatter is at its max. That's on this side right here. On this side over here, I'm not even hungry. I rarely get hungry. I force myself to eat. And when I do start eating, I take a few bites and I feel so stuffed that I can't eat more. That's this side. So this side, uncontrollable food chatter. This side, I can barely eat. Guess where you need to shoot for? What does this look like in the middle? In the middle, what this looks like is control. The edge is taken off. I can think clearly. I'm not obsessive, but I still get hungry. That is crucial. I can actually eat without feeling like I'm gonna yak. You guys see those funny GLP-1 memes where you take few bites and you're so stuffed and people are laughing about that, or they have a couple little bites of food on their plate and they think that's good? Little do they know that that's not good. Little do they know that that's gonna screw them up long term. If you can barely eat, and I know your doctor's not telling you this, nobody's ever told you this until right now. So please pay attention to what I'm saying, because this will 100% change your future on GLP-1s. This will 100% change your mindset because you've never been taught this. And it's so, so crucial. So you wanna have middle ground appetite suppression. Again, one more time, the food chatter is off, the edge is off, the obsession is off, but you still have appetite. You still want to eat occasionally, you know? And when you start eating, you can eat a reasonable sized meal. What happens when you're over here? A lot of you guys, right now, let me know where you guys are at. Right now in the comments, is your hunger category 1, category 2, or category 3? Obsessive, ideal, golden dose, or are you so stuffed category 3 that you literally can't eat? And you kind of know in the back of your mind that you're like, I'm barely eating. This is a problem. So a lot of you guys are category 1, okay? So you're, what does that mean again? Category 1 for this particular example means that you're still struggling with food chatter. Category 2 is optimal. And then category 3 is I'm so stuffed I can barely eat. So now you learned a little bit about dosing strategy here. You need to shoot for number 2. So when I asked the question earlier about dosing, when do you increase your dose? You increase your dose when your appetite starts turning into category 1. That gives you more clarity, not just more hungry. Because when you move from category 3 to category 2, by definition, that means more hunger. But that would be a time when you would not want to increase your dose. So thank you for bearing with me, but I had to give you that full explanation to understand why increased hunger is not a good definition for increasing the dose. But increasing from category 2 to category 1 is absolutely when you want to increase your dose. Did that make sense, guys? Did that help you clarify the difference between increasing your dose when you're hungry versus the actual time you want to increase your dose. It looks like we're not getting a response back. Moderators, if you guys can check for Tracy, she's really eager to get started. Can you guys send her a booking link? Okay, good. I'm glad that that was helpful. I'm glad that that was helpful. Now we talk about weight loss. I'm going to talk about weight loss next. Weight loss stall, is that when you increase your dose? What about the weight loss? Does weight loss hold a variable that should dictate when you change your dose? That is a great question, and I'm going to get back to that. But let me go into rapid fire. I know a lot of you guys have been patient, and there's a lot of questions incoming. So category 1 real quick was obsessive food chatter. This is where everybody's at. Category 3 is I can barely eat, I'm too stuffed, and then category 2 is perfect. Category 2 is I'm not obsessive, but I can eat a meal without feeling repulsed. I can eat more than a few bites. So you only want to increase your dose from category 2 to category 1, not from 3 to 2. That would by definition still be I'm more hungry, but that's not ideal. Okay, so let's go into rapid fire. Stacy says she's also not getting put a little note for when you meet with Aaron because the text message back is not working. If you're not getting an auto text message back, please let us know so my team can find your message and then text you back the booking link. Moderators, if you guys can help out with that and get everybody a text back. Do we ship to Mexico? Unfortunately, we don't. Let me scroll back. I know I missed some questions. Fahed 2000. I have increased hunger all the time, only it goes away with intermittent fasting. See, that is awesome. So I know you're watching me on TikTok Live. What Fahed just said is actually so true. Fahed said he only gets appetite suppression on his GLP-1 when he's intermittent fasting. That, my friends, is the power of proper lifestyle interventions. See, fasting is so powerful and it works so synergistically with the GLP-1s. It lowers insulin as well. So now you have two different things, fasting and GLP-1s, that are both working completely different pathways, but they're both working towards the same goal of improving metabolic health. And that's crucial. Unfortunately, we don't ship to Canada. And unfortunately, we don't ship to the UK. I wish we did, my friends. But you can still join my coaching program. You can still totally join my coaching program. We just can't ship to those areas. Can tesamorelin be dangerous? I mean, anything can be dangerous. Water could be dangerous. And I don't mean to be a smart ass when I say that. Like anything could be dangerous in the right dosing, with the right dose. So, but I think the definition of dangerous means when the overdose threshold is very minimal, like one extra tiny little bit, small margin of error, that's when I would call something dangerous. So would I say tesamorelin is dangerous? No, because the worst that'll happen if you accidentally double or triple your dose, you probably get really nauseous, and that's probably all that would happen. But you probably would get a lot of fluid retention too. I have lipedema. Can retatrutide help? I would go with tirzepatide. Yes, tirzepatide might help. It's not the first line approach, but it can absolutely help. I have questions. How much dose for 100 kilos weight? It doesn't go by weight, my friend. It does not go by weight. Weight does not affect your dosing of GLP-1s. You start at the starter dose. I hear long fasting is not good for menopausal women. This is such a powerful question. Actually, this is probably going to lead to my next. I want to talk about the fat mobilizing peptides. I want to talk about SLOOP 332 and AOD. So Angelique asked, she stated, I thought with PCOS, fasting was bad. And the answer is yes, it can be bad. And it is bad for a lot of PCOS. And this is not just PCOS, by the way. Autoimmune disease, diabetics, high inflammation. So any sort of inflammatory condition, if you start trying to do fasting, it can screw you up because your body can't tolerate it. So why is it such a difficulty for certain people to fast? I want to start there and explain how that works, so that way you can understand why AOD and sloop is better. Danny, I've prescribed, or not me, but my clinic has prescribed and managed so many patients, thousands of patients. Tirzepatide, no issues. Retatrutide, a lot of people, it doesn't work. I think the glucagon agonist raises blood sugar, and the raising of blood sugar is the reason why a certain category of people don't respond well. That's my observation, my clinical guess, understanding the mechanisms and the differences between retatrutide and tirzepatide. There's no issues with Terz, so why would you gamble with a new peptide that potentially might be more dangerous? It's probably not, but it might be, for something that isn't going to solve any problems. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we're going to talk about why sloop and AOD are so powerful if you have autoimmune disease or you have PCOS or other conditions. Real quick, if you guys just joined us, my name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics that service across the nation, all 50 states. This phone number here on my shirt is the best way to reach out to my team. So we provide lasting weight loss coaching for GLP-1 patients, non-GLP-1. We understand how to remove barriers. The barriers for weight loss on GLP-1s are like cortisol, thyroid, inflammation, insulin. We do comprehensive blood testing. So we're going to get to the root cause of your problems, and then we're going to prescribe microdosing peptides and coaching. And we have a promotion right now on Sloop as well. So if you guys are curious about any of that, if you want to get a free consultation with my team, this 229 number is the best way to do that. It's the best way to reach out to my team. Danny, I see that you're a PA, so you're probably prescribing the medications too as well. And yeah, I would with strong conviction, don't bother with retatrutide. Always push tirzepatide on your patients first. I can say that with confidence now. Retatrutide should be a backup plan if for whatever reason tirzepatide is not working, but that's after lifestyle intervention. Okay, so when you think about fasting, guys, why is fasting stressful on the body? And remember, stress isn't always bad. So when I say why is fasting stressful, I don't mean why is fasting bad, but too much stress for a body can be bad. For certain people's bodies, well, everybody has a threshold beyond which too much stress is bad. So everybody has that. But why is fasting stressful? What is the stress that you are enduring to your body when you fast? Let's talk about this, because I need you guys to understand this. Unfortunately, insurance companies don't cover the coaching or the peptides or anything like that. It's crazy. I mean, it's not too crazy though, because this is the world we live in. So why do you guys think fasting creates stress on the body? Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate it. Ipamorelin, CJC IPA can be great for muscle building. Okay. So none of it what? Our automations? Ah, interesting. Okay, so I see a lot of responses, but let's talk about this. So when you fast, and we're talking intermittent fasting, 16 hours, all the way up to long fasting, 30 plus hours. It obviously gets more stressful the longer you go. When you're fasting, your body still has a calorie requirement. Your body has a calorie requirement per hour. Every hour that you're living, Your metabolism is constantly burning through energy. Your body needs energy to survive, and it's constantly utilizing energy at an hourly rate, right? And so you're either getting the energy that you need to live from the food that you eat or from the fat on your body. So when you're not fasting, you're getting the majority of your energy throughout the day from the food that you eat. In fact, most people are never burning their fat. And we've talked about this because their insulin is high and their insulin prevents fat burning. So a lot of you guys have high levels of insulin, and so you're literally block your body's ability to burn fat. But that's okay if you're constantly eating. And by the way, that's why you have food chatter. That's the very reason why you're hungry all the time and you're tired, because insulin blocks your body's ability to use the fat on its body. Trust me when I say this, don't get offended. You have enough fat on your body to feed yourself for probably 2 months. And I hope you don't get offended when I say that, because even a lean athlete, even somebody with a six-pack has enough fat to feed their body for probably a month. And if you're obese, you probably have like 6 months, literally, of fat stores just sitting there. Fuel for your body. If only you can just get your body to just take a break from eating and just burn that fat, problem solved. How amazing would that be? Just take a break from eating and let your body just burn it. That's amazing, right? That's in essence what fasting is. But now here comes the stressful part. The stressful part of fasting. We just said insulin blocks fat burning. And now you're demanding your body to fast, and you're demanding your body to get the energy from its body because the insulin's high and you're not eating. So you create this calorie deficit, but you have insulin blocking the ability for your body to do what it needs to do to survive the calorie deficit. Okay, so this gets a little bit sciencey, so bear with me. I'm trying to make this as easy as I can to understand. So you create a calorie deficit by not eating over a period of time. Your body responds by says, I need energy, but insulin is blocking the fat cells. Insulin's got the guard up. And your body's like, whoa, homie. That's what your body says to the fat cells. It says, hey, homie, I need some freaking energy right now. So then when you know what the body does, the body releases cortisol. The body releases stress hormones to compensate, to override the insulin. So the cortisol comes in. The catecholamines come in and say, yo, insulin, get out of the way. We need some energy. That's what happens. I'm just trying to make this easy to understand here. So the cortisol is more powerful than the insulin. The cortisol will negate insulin and get it out of the way, and it'll go into the fat. But the problem with that is now you have high cortisol. You have high stress hormones. And that's a problem. Cortisol doesn't just burn fat, it'll burn muscle. It'll burn valuable tissues. So you don't want to have cortisol high. And high cortisol over time leads to elevated blood sugar, which leads to elevated insulin, which leads to insulin resistance. And so now we're in this vicious cycle, and that's a problem. So you create this stress loop where your body keeps getting more and more stress to get the job done, and it has to release more and more stress hormones. Okay, so now you understand why long fasting can be very stressful. If you don't have high insulin, guess what? Your body's like, cool, you're not eating, I have all this fat. Hey, fat cells, give me some energy. And insulin's not there to block them. Problem solved. That's why some people can fast with no problem. But most of you can't because you have chronically elevated insulin levels. So now we're putting it all together. AOD 9604, Sloop 332. What do those peptides do? And by the way, I like Sloop better now because Sloop is an exercise mimetic, and Sloop also makes you burn calories at rest. They literally call it exercise in a bottle, by the way. It's pretty wild stuff. So what these peptides do is they mobilize fat. So when you take Sloop or AOD, what you're doing is you're battling insulin and you're saying, hey, fat cells, release the energy. So you have a compound that's going into there and battling the insulin and saying, fat cells, release. And that's what they do. And so now with the fat cells releasing fat and you not eating because you're fasting, now your body can just burn up that fuel in your body at the fastest rate. You cannot out-exercise fasting. You will never out-exercise fasting. Exercise isn't even a weight loss strategy. It really isn't. And that's a whole nother conversation. Exercise is a health strategy, not a fat loss strategy. And you guys have been duped to think the otherwise. Great benefits for cardio, for cardiovascular strength, and resistance training. Obviously, you can say that's a fat loss maneuver, but there's a couple steps involved with that. But you absolutely should be lifting weights, without a doubt. But the calories, that's what I'm referring to. You don't get that much calories. You don't get that many calories from exercise. But when you don't eat for a day, think about this. When you don't eat for an entire day, that's 2,000 calories. Do you realize how many calories are in a pound of fat? 3,500 calories. So you burn a half a pound of fat, but just by not eating for one day. And then you don't eat for 2 days. Holy crap. That's a pound of body fat. That's an entire pound of pure fat. But now to answer that question about PCOS, diabetics, inflammatory patients, you're gonna struggle and you just won't be able to do the fast without helping your body tap into the fat. And that's exactly what Sloop 332 does. We have pill form of Sloop. So Sloop 332 is an exercise mimetic peptide. And what it does is it improves the function of your mitochondria. It cranks out a faster electron transport chain, which is the electron transport chain is happening within the mitochondria. The mitochondria are like the batteries of your cells. So the food that you eat eventually gets broken down to the smallest pieces. It enters into the electron transport chain. That thing cranks, out comes ATP, out comes energy, and then your body utilizes that energy. That's a really boiled down summary of metabolism, human metabolism. But so the Sloop will increase that efficiency and it'll help your fat cells release. And then we call that mobilization of fat. I don't know what retinonics is, my friend. Retinox, I have no clue what that is. Hey, Tatiana, yeah, this tank is just a way to help people get the number that they need to reach out to me. Simply Tommy's life. I need a reset. I fast for 24 to 48 hours. I did not like the 72. I mean, 72 is long. I don't recommend that long. I recommend closer to the 30 range, 30 to 40 range. Hey, butthead. So the any calorie deficit, if you don't get enough protein outside and enough calories around your fasting windows, you will lose muscle. So if you started losing muscle from intermittent fasting, that means you were not eating enough protein, you were not eating enough calories outside of your fasting windows. That's the problem. So you just need to work harder at eating more food, nutrient-dense food when you're not fasting. And your body will change. Your body will transform. You will burn fat and build muscle if you force yourself to do that. The GLP-1s make fasting so much easier. I have patients tell me all the time, I could not fast before. And now that we put them on the Sloop and or the Sloop and the GLP-1 combo is what I'm talking about. Yes. It makes it so that fasting becomes easy. Or it makes it so that fasting becomes a possibility because, like I said, a lot of people couldn't fast without it. Yeah, I think MOTS-C is fantastic. MOTS-C is a peptide that is probably the most powerful exercise mimetic peptide that there is. That one's even more powerful than SLOOP for its ability to improve the mitochondria. Yeah, if you guys are interested in learning more about these peptides, about our programs, about our discounts that we have right now, shoot us a text message at that 229 number. Ania just booked an appointment. Do I have to book? No, Ania, on the one appointment with my team, you can learn about everything. They can talk to you about everything. Cindy says, I love your videos. Thank you for your information. Thank you, Cindy. I'm so happy that the information is helping you. By the way, guys, if you like to learn, go follow me on YouTube. Go to YouTube right now, just so that you don't forget, and type in Dr. Jones DC. We put out GLP-1 and peptide videos every single week. I'm worried to take retatrutide, then don't take retatrutide if you're worried about it. But fertility is not an issue. The only thing that GLP-1s do to fertility is possibly improve it. I mean, we've heard of Ozempic babies, which basically means people getting pregnant when they weren't trying to get pregnant because fertility improved. Can you talk about the GI side effects and how to manage? Yeah, I mean, depends. Like nausea is a really common side effect, so I like ginger. Improving your digestion is huge with like digestive enzymes and probiotics. Heartburn or acid reflux usually is a symptom of low acidity in the stomach. And so I recommend digestive enzymes that have HCl inside of it, which we offer those supplements. We sell those if you want those types of digestive enzymes that have acid in it that could potentially help your acid reflux. Then shoot us a message. We can send you the link to my favorite supplements for GLP-1s. Tirzepatide is always going to be, hey, Cheryl, thank you so much. Tirzepatide, in my experience, has always been better. Yes, bentane and pepsin HCl is what I'm talking about. What do I recommend for constipation? Either increase your fiber or eliminate it entirely and go carnivore. It's kind of wild. You're going to have to experiment. Hey, Tina, yes, I am a DC, but I have a team of physicians and I have a team of coaches, and we work together to help you guys achieve lasting weight loss. Hey, Guise 101. So far, this peptide looks good, SLOOP. We absolutely, in the world of peptides, don't have long-term research. That's just the reality of it. And so, yeah, I mean, peptide therapies are where they're at. The research is unfortunately limited. Hey, thanks, Bruno. Any ideas why type 1 diabetics, we don't manage type 1s, but if you, GLP-1s can absolutely help type 1s, that's for sure. And we have a referral. We can send you to somebody. If you don't have somebody that's willing to help you on your type 1, we have a referral for you. Is it possible to get GIP benefits from TERS? Yeah, it is possible to get benefit from low dose, but that's a reflection of how healthy or unhealthy you are. If you're not getting any benefit from 2.5, that means you're too insulin resistant. That means you're too inflamed. I'm on 4 milligrams of Retta. Can I start at 5 of TERS? I mean, I can't give you medical advice, Kat, but if you were working with our clinic, we would probably do a flush. We would probably do a reset. I want to take retatrutide, but worried about hair loss. Yeah, hair loss, by the way, is a known complication, known side effect. But where that stems from, That mostly comes from rapid weight loss and doing it incorrectly, not nourishing the body, stressing the body out. That's where that normally comes from. So if you follow our guidance, our approach is slow and steady, nourishing the body, replacing the lacking nutrients, and de-stressing the body, not increasing the stress. So, and I wouldn't start with retatrutide. I would start with tirzepatide. Doctor prescribed 503A tirzepatide. Does AOD work if you use it the way that I recommend? On its own, AOD is not going to cause anything massive. Any of the fat mobilizers on their own, they don't work as well. And they don't work as well because you are in a state that you need something more aggressive, right? GLP-1 could work on its own because it suppresses your appetite. But mobilizing fat without creating a calorie deficit is not going to yield any results, because if you mobilize fat, you're just going to store it again if you don't burn it. I'm on 1.5 of Ozempic and I haven't moved for 4 months after my weight loss. Yeah, I mean you and millions of other people. So millions of people right now are stalled and they have no solution whatsoever. They're wondering why they're not getting results. And I'm telling you guys right now, it's because of what we've been talking about so far: insulin, inflammation, cortisol, and thyroid. Yes, Tommy, fasting to me is an integral piece of the success formula. Can we take BBC and TB if knees? Absolutely, you can. We call that the Wolverine healing. And it works great for knees. I get used to my doses very quickly, and suppression only lasts 3 weeks. Well, for most people, like in the research that was done, the trials, that's what happened to them too. In the trials, people got used to the dose around 3 to 4 weeks and they increased it. That's why they created those protocols from the trials. And so many doctors get confused. They go, well, the research shows that you should increase your dose because that's what they did in the research. But what they're not realizing is people in the research had very basic lifestyle interventions. They weren't fasting, they weren't going keto, they weren't lifting heavy weights.
They got into all your supplements. They ripped it apart, baggies, and ate. I don't know what they ate, but I had to refill all of them. They're ants from the glycine.
No, I had that closed all night. I barely opened it this morning.
It's all ripped. Oh, well, they just got it then. It's going to be all ripped apart. All the little baggies. So I just did all of them.
Thank you. Jeez. I zipped that closed last night, so that means when I... the glycine is sweet, by the way.
Yeah, there's ants.
How did the ants... What the heck? Gotta love when your dogs get into your stuff, huh? All right, anyways, I got about, looks like 10 more minutes and then I gotta hop off. Yes, we offer tirzepatide, semaglutide, retatrutide. I'm always gonna recommend tirzepatide as the king. Tirzepatide is the undisputed king. I'm a big fan of stacking your fat mobilizer. Stack your fat mobilizer with your GLP-1. So AKA stack your AOD, stack your sloop with your GLP-1. Are some people more sensitive than others? Yes, they are, because they're less insulin resistant. If you're more sensitive to the medication, then you are more insulin sensitive. And you don't need a higher dose. You could do a lower dose. You could even do a lower dose than 2.5. if you are feeling like 2.5 is too much. We have that happen all the time where people have to start lower than 2.5 because 2.5 is too strong. So it just depends. Some people don't feel anything on 2.5 and some people need less. Jeremy, if you're curious about prices of anything, shoot us a message at this 229 number right here, the 229-441-3562. Get scheduled for a consultation and let them set you up for, let them set you up for that. Is it a timeline that the fat mobilizers need to be with the GLP-1s? I would start it from day number 1. The sooner you start the fat mobilizers, the sooner that your body can take advantage of the calorie deficit. Take advantage of the calorie deficit. You see what I say there? You can optimize the calorie deficit with the fat mobilizer. But that's confusing for a lot of people. So you need the calorie deficit, which the GLP-1 helps you do that. Hey, Bojangles, for some reason on the phone app, you can't mirror. Unfortunately, it doesn't have that feature. Trust me, I've researched this. There's a way to stream on my phone and mirror. I'm gonna figure that out. I'll get that one figured out. Level carnitine is not a fat mobilizer. That it helps shuttle fat, but it doesn't help relieve it from the fat cell. So carnitine is like carnitine's not bad, but it's not going to replace SLOOP or AOD. "30 years old, tested for the first time, and mine is 290. Yeah. If you're talking about total testosterone, 290 is in the tank. You're going to want to optimize that puppy. I'm going to see why you didn't get a message. Where am I from? I live in Denver, but we service all 50 states, just so you know. All right, I'm looking at the messages right now. I do see a couple messages that we have not responded to. This one person says she didn't get a response. She's asked several times. This is the first one that's been asking the entire time. Where is she going?
I have to send them manually, so I have to go keep on sending them manually.
Okay. We've responded. She texted us earlier. If you haven't, let me know right now if you haven't got a response before I hop off. I want to make sure that we got your message. That's a good stack. Just be careful with the Reta-Cagri. Is there another way to book besides texting? Tracy Mendoza says, can you put your name in the text, Tracy? Because I'm looking at the messages and I don't even see your message there. 817. Yeah, Tracy, let me know. Also, just to play it safe, if you want to shoot us a DM on the TikTok page as well, you can try that. Hey, citizen journalist. Thank you. I'm glad the information is helpful. If you're outside the US, you can still do my coaching program. Absolutely. The way that works is via email, Zoom calls, things of that nature. So if you're out of the country right now and you want to reach out, then shoot us a DM to the TikTok page, or I guess you're watching me on YouTube. There's a link in my bio. There's a link in the bio. That's weird. My Instagram live just ended. I was going to end anyways. Metformin and Wegovy, is there something better? Yeah, I mean, tirzepatide. Tirzepatide is significantly better. Emmy, I've lost 30 pounds in 6 months. Slow responder, but I'm still really happy with that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you currently weigh, but if you're losing about 0.5% to 1% of your weight every single week, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. MOTS-C or AOD? I mean, if you have the finances to afford MOTS-C, then I would go with MOTS-C. But MOTS-C, people don't understand that MOTS-C is not something that you keep running. You don't keep running MOTS-C. You do a cycle of MOTS-C to supercharge your mitochondria. You keep cycling continuously the SLOOP or the AOD. So, yeah, tirzepatide, I've just noticed patients get much better results. Mark, OMAD can be problematic if you don't eat enough food. That's my only concern about OMAD, because you're talking about one meal a day. So you have to make sure you get about 2,000 to 2,800, depending on how much your body in particular needs. All right, guys, before I hop off, again, the best way to reach out to my team, you can either shoot us a DM on the TikTok page if you're not able to respond on text message, SMS, or if you text us here, that's the best, the 229-441-3562. Shoot us a message there and get yourself set up for the free consultation. Yes, tirzepatide is the same thing as Zepbound. Evolve, I did not see your question. Brass, I'm so happy that you were able to follow us. Here we go. Is there a peptide that is not a GLP-1 and can suppress appetite? Yes, there is. It's called tesofensine. So tesofensine is our backup. Actually, we have two. We have tesofensine and we have calgrilantide. Calgrilantide, or Cagri, is in the family, but it's not a GLP-1. So it doesn't impact the pancreas, actually. So you have calgrilantide, which is somewhat like a GLP-1, and then you have tesofensine, which is a complete and different alternative. I mean, we do prescribe all of these different peptides, by the way. So get a consult with my team so that we can help you guys. Bye, everybody. See you later. Have a good weekend.